What's happening, Wargamers? Welcome to the After Action Report. And my goodness, that was a tense game. There was a brief, fleeting moment of hope that I got there, but the game did end 17-9 for the Criminal Syndicate.
I would like to point out, this was a robbery.
This was a I got robbed, but it wasn't over here that I got. I got robbed over here with Blade. Man.
Blade should have been able to with my measly 2 defense die.
Oh my goodness, the amount of times you blocked with MODOK should. Because I brought him down to 9 once, and then I brought him down to 3. I could not finish off MODOK, and that was frustrating.
Yeah.
So frustrating. And early on, I thought, if I can't deal with MODOK, I think that was game. And hey, look at that! MODOK ended up being the clinch piece.
Yeah, 100%.
So yeah, all in all, I think, aside from getting dummied 1 round, I think Magic came back. She did some cool stuff. Strange did some alright cool stuff with Ultron early on.
Her limbo step, I've kind of poo-pooed her limbo step a couple of times, but it brought her just into perfect range for Rhino here. That was a clutch move, especially because killed my cover that I'm like, aha, there's no way I won't be okay.
You know what I should have done? I was getting cute and cheeky over here. I really should have just picked up the fragments to force your hand over here.
Sure.
Because at least then you would have been forced to deal with Magic.
I was never planning on dealing with Magic. Spider-Man was always my target. I wanted him dead. He was public enemy number 1.
Which is fine, but I means I would have had those points right there. I don't know.
Well, I would have given you more play for later.
Possibly. There's a lot that kind of goes on. That's kind of going on there. I think for the most part, I was making some decent moves. I think some of the dice results forced me into some bad positions.
I don't disagree. I definitely was trying to figure out, so game plan over here, you had Blade, you had Spider-Man.
Okay, so here's the thing. I came into this, I feel, a step behind.
Okay.
Because I came in with Spider-Man thinking it's okay, you're playing Criminal Syndicate, there's going to be a lot of size 2. I'm just going to pull you off of a whole bunch of objectives, and then you show up with 2 size 4s and a size 3. And it's well, Spidey is useless in this game, more or less. He ended up being just a bit of an objective runner. And unfortunately, he went down like a chump to Doomsday Chair. So I do kind of feel like I was playing some threat down as a result. Spidey to me was not. He wasn't a good character to have in this matchup. Now that's not to say you teched against him, because you had no idea what I had going on in my list.
Actually, it's kind of funny. I thought I brought a Criminal Syndicate where I just wanted to think, what is the coolest gang to rob someplace? I was thinking Ocean's 11. So I originally had Killmonger in here, and is Killmonger the right guy? I kind of already have the silent type. I have the strong guy. So I brought an Ultron instead. I felt does computers kind of gave me the advantage.
Yeah, you brought in, it was a tough team. It wasn't insurmountable. A couple inabilities to follow through with some rules. Friggin' Doomsday Chair, man.
Doomsday Chair is still good, despite the fact that he's first generation tech, right?
That hurts so bad. That hurt. I'm coming out of this with a bit of a feel bad on that one, because that Doomsday Chair just wrecked me so many times.
Yeah, the Doomsday Chair, and it's not the first time Doomsday Chair has got you. That's the real problem.
But it's been a long time since we last ran it, and it being range 4 and just. Why could I not get 4 damage? I threw 12 dice at you.
Yeah.
And you rolled 4 defensive dice, and I did 3 damage off 12. I had a conversion of 25% on that, which was just. Blade should have killed MODOK.
Oh yeah, Blade definitely should have taken MODOK down there. I saw the numbers, but
I'm actually curious about something. If I went into Ultron, now I just feel really bad, because then I also would have. Reroll. Oh no, I would have had to reroll all of them, which I think I would have.
Yes, totally.
7 dice, 3 successes. I would have rerolled all of them.
That's 4.
4 damage, which would have been 1 more. Maybe you block some of it, but then I do it again.
Yeah,
right.
Totally.
And then maybe I take out Ultron, make him drop the cubes, force another round.
Definitely.
Right.
And I think forcing another round in that situation.
I think forcing another round, the game might have gone my way.
I think so.
It might have. I was starting to get some momentum back. But yeah,
I was hoping to have a big play on Magic next turn with Rhino. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I still think Shadowlands Daredevil.
Because I was also gonna have priority next round.
You were, and that was gonna change the whole thing. anywhere. I had a couple of plans,
Well,
but this
next round was basically Magic was going to walk over, pick up,
Yep.
and then walk away and limbo step away,
Yeah,
and just make you chase her down, right?
Yep. Yep.
Or alternatively, like grab those and then I don't know, maybe try to walk away over to the other side of that.
Sure.
I don't know. She was going to do something.
I wanted to pick up one of these two things and throw it at someone, so that was my plans in the making.
So, and I know you still don't like Shadowland Daredevil.
But I will say I love his leadership. I always felt like I was cheating every time. I deliberately grabbed that skull and re-rolled it with Ultron, and it's like, oh look, here's some.
That was frustrating. So many times you got that. And
roll some extra dice.
Your efficiency, your conversions, your efficiencies were just really, really rough on me. And
the worst thing is I didn't convert as many as it probably was reasonable, but I felt like it was a crushing thing that I got to do every turn. It was morale.
No, here's the interesting. I don't think I got diced this game.
Okay.
There was a couple instances.
My Doomsday Chair says otherwise, but
no, your Doomsday Chair, you just threw so many dice. I just couldn't hold up against it, right? Like it was just one of those things.
Well, and I do think that there's a world where Doctor Strange is over helping one of the other characters, and that could have been a thing with Hoggoths, that there might have been, like, the Doomsday Chair is not as impressive.
If I had been able to get over there, the problem is, like, I was got put right on the back foot over, like, with Magic doing jack all over here, right?
I actually feel like deployment ended up being the most important part of this game, so.
Possibly, yeah. There was a couple things that maybe if things went slightly differently, it could have resulted in something different. Okay. So this video is going up with a new release.
Yes.
Let's talk Rhino.
So, Rhino. First of all, this is a robbery.
It's an awesome card.
Dormammu, this is a robbery. Dormammu's like, what can I do? Drops his money and then gets thrown across the room.
Hey man, here's my wallet. Take it. That's all I got. That card's amazing. That card is amazing. It really is.
I definitely think that good counters on him is obviously a strong Mystic arsenal, but at the same time, I think that he, despite his short move, gets across the table when he wants to. He's going to wreck up the board. So if you're playing with a bunch of terrain that's size 2 and size 1, which is what you're more likely to see in tournaments, that's all gone. He's going to add that to some of his attacks if he does Rhino in a China shop. So.
Now, the internet loves him. What do you think? Do you think he lives up to the hype that the internet's been talking about?
So far, so good. Like, I encountered a very Mystic-heavy team. Rhino's got a tough time against Mystic. And I didn't feel like I was behind the 8 ball at all. Like he was still, stopping 1 damage no matter what. Just the idea that he's throwing around like ridiculously sized things. No, he's definitely got at least some of that hype he deserves.
So I'm going to be honest. He felt very average to me. I don't think he was amazing. I had some bad defense rolls against him with Magic. I don't know.
I'm going to go ahead and point out, Rhino took the majority of his damage from cubes.
Yeah,
he walked around with double
but
cubes.
But that's the thing. I didn't care. I didn't care enough to go into him.
That's fair.
That was kind of what it was, right? Like, I didn't feel... He was never threatening enough to me to really care. And, you diced Magic a little bit on that one. Like, her defense rolls really didn't go through.
Yeah.
And her early attacks did nothing to Rhino, which was no good for me.
Well, and I like the fact that I was able to throw him away and steal his stuff. Like, that felt good. I wish I had a little bit more power, and I do think that he's definitely looking for a team that can help him out with that.
So, and I think that's an interesting thing, because this is a robbery. Super good card. But does a really good card make for a good character?
I think between it and Rhino in a China shop with his throws and destruction stuff, like, I'm actually thinking he's going to be fun in Brotherhood.
Brotherhood. Everyone's saying Brotherhood on that one.
I want to see what he can do with a couple of other hard hitters, maybe something like an A-Force team where he can take a cheaper way of going about things.
So I'm going to be honest. I don't think Rhino in a China shop is really all that worth. I think it's a cute card. I think it's gimmicky, though.
I think it's one of those things. Sometimes you want to Doomsday Chair someone out of the game, and I feel like it can do some of that.
But I think it's not bad. It's kind of like a discount Smash.
Yes,
right.
I agree.
It's a discount Smash. Smash itself is a good solid card, and Rhino in China shop is a decent card.
Yeah.
I don't think it's an amazing card. I've seen a lot of people talking about like getting up to, I think it's like 36 dice.
I think that's...
Which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't think you really ever want to add more than 3 dice to it, to be honest.
I actually think there is a small case, tournaments are going to change some of this mileage, but you use a Stampede to run through a 1 and a 2, and then you throw a 4, add 7 dice to an attack. I think
but think about how much power you've now spent. You've Stampeded for 3.
It's 3 and 2. That's it.
And then,
So
but
it's
that's 5 power, which if nobody is punching Rhino, you got to get that 5 power from somewhere, right?
Sure.
And I think, like, in this particular scenario, you had cubes to help with that.
Yeah.
And
throwing a size 4 object, being able to smash into things, I think he has a little bit of play that way. Now, granted, size 1, size 2 terrain in a line near someone you want to get to may not always happen. You have to have a little bit
You're really going to see that happen. Like most competitive environments follow the suggestions from AMG's rulebook, where terrain is usually spaced at least range 2 apart from each other.
Yeah. And this definitely is like you have to be like beside one of it, run through it, hit the other one, and then throw something size 4, and you're going to get 1 size 4 on a board. Yeah.
And I mean, all of a sudden, you've now just blown up a whole bunch of terrain to just dummy 1 person.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing. Like, it's great for getting that, like, absolutely one shot in, but I think it's very situational.
And I guess that is the thing. I think he's got a one-trick pony cool attack if you decide to use that Rhino.
It's like Helios Laser.
It's kind of like bad Helios Laser. It's like...
I would say it's better Helios Laser because it's cheaper.
But it's a lot of hoops. And that's the problem. You got to kind of set it up. So,
it is.
But I will say that I liked his aggressive, despite the fact I never really got a chance to use it. It always felt like you
were in a position you already wanted to be in.
Well, or if you decided to attack me, I was like, oh, well, I'm actually right beside you now, so this is fine. Gore jumping to one away from the thing feels like you have a lot of flexibility.
He definitely has mobility. Yeah. I will not begrudge that, and I'm in no way saying Rhino is a bad character card. I think he's average.
I think maybe a little bit better than average, but he's definitely not the best 4, and he's not the best 4 brawler. Yeah. And so
he's going to live or die, but whoever team he's in. Is what's going to happen, right?
I do have dreams of running him with Wolverine now, and I'm imagining an entirely new heist with a Canadian involved. It's going to be great. So
yeah, like I feel like where Juggernaut is a very good splash of a 5 threat into a lot of lists. I don't see Rhino being the same that one. That's because I think there's definitely lists that if you put Rhino into, he's not going to feel good. Whereas Juggernaut is just like Juggernaut feels good no matter where you put him in. Right?
And I think the big thing for Rhino versus Juggernaut, Rhino is he's like, hey, let me hold this lane as long as nobody brings any mystic attacks. I'm going to hold this for you. That's not a problem. Whereas Juggernaut's like, hey, until I get flipped, I'm going to hold this lane against anybody. Even
and I'm going to punch things real hard. Yeah. So I mean, that's my personal take on Rhino. I will say though, the model's great. Like the model looks really good here. Like it's like just super good model.
I mean, it's no Paul Giamatti and a giant metallic abomination, but if this was
you're going to make me edit that part out. No, it's really cool. And I am actually really glad we kind of got that classic Spider-Man Rhino screen shot in there, even though nothing happened from it. And
there was some stuff there, and he stole Rhino's loot. I mean, that's the true sign that Spider-Man won here, right? So
it's. Yeah, oh god, I had such high hopes for what Spider-Man could do in this game, and then I saw your team, and it just,
I'm so sorry, man.
Spider-Man did not have fun on a bun in this game. Unfortunately, he was I probably should have used Spider-Man to back up Magic, as opposed to backing up Blade. Blade actually did a really solid job holding down that side.
Yeah, he did. And he had the right mix of attacks against these guys. I brought Daredevil over there thinking I could do something with him, and he was okay.
He held up reasonably well. I'm actually really impressed with how Blade did over there.
Yeah.
So I'm super happy with that. Strange, I felt like if he had got one more opportunity to do something, maybe. But yeah, I don't know. I spread out a little bit too much. I had a game plan of trying to go out and get some cubes and then come back and just sort of like go into the center here, but it just didn't quite materialize.
That's fair, yeah.
But anyway, I think we've said what we need to say on this one, and I think we're good to go. So thank you so much for watching. As usual, guys, if you're looking for another way to support the channel, hit up the Patreon in the description below. Any support helps. It just helps us grow the channel and keep things going, and we would thank you very much for that. And we are going to see you next time. Happy wargaming.